What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and it's Top 10 Thursday. Lately in gaming, we seem to have a horrible problem. Developers will show off amazing trailers, do interesting interviews, and overall try and get us excited for what they're working on. But sometimes these details turn out to be pure lies. There are some people who will say anything to try and trick you into buying their stuff, even if it's a half-done mess. This week, let's check out the games that disappointed millions on my picks for the top 10 most overhyped games ever. Number 10. Star Wars Battlefront. A long time ago, in a galaxy far away, there was an empire that tried to rule the universe. They were happy to kill anyone, make alliances with some truly evil monsters, and even blow up entire planets. Really, the only thing stopping them from taking over is the rebel fighters led by Luke Skywalker. This is a story that many of us have always loved, so when Electronic Arts promised to build the perfect version of these famous moments in Star Wars Battlefront, it got our attention. Sadly, this was essentially all made up garbage. The final product didn't have a single player campaign, there were no space levels, and the guns honestly sucked. Every single element of this title felt so dry and empty that I don't know why they even released it. Number 9. The Elder Scrolls Online. If you had to choose a series to play for the rest of your life, which would it be? Maybe it could be Final Fantasy, Gears of War, or something giant like Elder Scrolls. Skyrim alone can provide hundreds of hours of fun, which is why when Bethesda announced that they were doing an online project next, fans lost their minds with excitement. As we got closer to launch though, something was clearly wrong. The studio behind this was being extremely secretive about what the gameplay looked like and was even pulling down videos that were being posted to the combat in beta. Later we discovered that the reason for this is that everything was rather unfinished. What really annoyed me about this RPG is that it just has no passion. The world, characters, and plot are all so lazily done. Number 8. Titanfall. Whenever I'm about to review a game, I like to watch some random coverage for it to get an idea on how I'll take it on. In 2014, I started doing research on Titanfall and I noticed that there was one phrase I was seeing again and again. Believe the hype. It was like they were trying to talk us into buying their title without much real information. They enjoyed this line so much they actually put it in the trailer. I'm being totally serious, look, there it is, believe the hype. They were hungry to get those pre-order numbers so they pushed it hard, ignoring the fact that it was pretty lacking in overall content. Personally, I think Titanfall 1 and 2 can be cool games to experience, but there's no denying that they had limited maps, very few mechs to drive, and repetitive matches after a while. Number 7. Watch Dogs. Aiden Pierce walks down a crowded street, quickly checking his phone to track his target. This man may appear to just be your average person, and yet he has a rare set of skills that make him far deadlier. Whatever has a microchip can be his weapon. Everything from stoplights to cameras can instantly be taken over with his hacking talents. In Aiden's quest for revenge, he'll let nothing stand in his way. Well, other than glitches. There are hundreds of glitches in this game that you can't really avoid. Watch Dogs was pitched as a truly next-generation title for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. It was supposed to use every bit of power from these new consoles to simulate thousands of tiny pieces at once in this huge interactive city. This turned out to be almost fully bullcrap though, because what we eventually got on store shelves was just a weird Grand Theft Auto ripoff. Number 6. Duke Nukem Forever. This first-person shooter is eternally infamous for one main reason. It was delayed for a stunning 10 years to make sure it'd be ultra fun, but when it did come out, it was a hot pile of trash. The Duke returned for his final run-and-gun mission only to become all the things he mocked in the past. His franchise was always considered the edgy, more hardcore project that challenged what people usually thought about video games. However, this sequel was insanely bland. The humor is dumb, the controls are stiff, and the levels are very poorly designed. There's a sense that no one tested these aspects to see if they really work. What's kinda silly is the only part of Duke Nukem Forever I really liked was the driving. How bad is your shooter if the best sections are when I just put the laser rifles away? Number 5. Mighty Number 9. Kickstarter and crowdfunding in general has led to some amazing masterpieces. Shovel Knight, Hyperlight Drifter, and Pillars of Eternity are all great examples of that, but there have also been some catastrophes. Nothing so far can quite compare to the disaster of Mighty Number 9. After gathering up roughly $4 million, this independent team began developing what was intended to be their own magnificent version of Mega Man. Their goals were solid, and they certainly had a clear objective in mind, but somehow it all went down in flames. Let me just say that Mighty Number 9 is not pleasant to play at all. Many would consider it physically agonizing to try and get through at times. Dashing into enemies and collecting power-ups barely functions. Along with that, the world layout is horrible. I've seen better games made by one person with zero budget than this project could manage with piles of money. Number 4. Destiny. The toughest thing about marketing is building expectations. You want the audience to understand what your title is, while also teasing them that there are more hidden secrets waiting to be figured out. It's here that I think Destiny really screwed up. They were acting like this was going to be a vast space adventure that would blend RPG elements with tight combat. Surprisingly, none of this depth made it into the game though, which created a firestorm of backlash at release. Basically, it's like sitting down to eat a delicious cake only to learn that it's full of sand. You get hit with several emotions at once. It's not just that you're sad that it's grainy and awful, you're also super pissed because you paid real money for a cake, darn it. Destiny is the sandy dessert of the modern era, and it taught everyone a valuable lesson about not trusting what you see in trailers. Hopefully the sequel learns its lesson from these nasty mistakes. Number 3. Spore. In the late 90s, simulation games started growing a large fan base. This genre had us constructing towns in SimCity or running a household in The Sims. You may not know this, but both these series were in fact made by a guy named Will Wright. This man had a strange vision for style, so when he mentioned that his upcoming project would be about evolving animals, people took notice. We probably should have guessed that it wouldn't live up to the hype, but no one could have expected it to be this goofy. Our story opens at the start of life with a small organism in the ocean. As we eat and age, choices are unlocked for how we want our creature to look and move. Eventually, you crawl up on shore and can hunt other beasts and evolve even further. Soon you're shaping a full society, going to war against nearby tribes, and maybe researching space travel to reach beyond the stars. On the surface, each part of Spore was kinda cool, but all rolled together, it was nothing but a boring mess. In the end, it all comes down to this. I wanted to make some animals, not take over a galaxy. Number 2. Aliens Colonial Marines. I hate to ever call anyone out unless I know with 100% certainty that they're doing something evil. In the case of Colonial Marines though, I can safely say that the team who worked on this is complete scum. Sega paid a lot of cash to get permission to make an official Alien game. Since they invested such a huge chunk of their profit on this title, you might think that they'd treat this with respect, but they really didn't. We're filling the shoes of a group of soldiers sent to investigate a distress signal from another ship. When they finally get there though, the humans are already dead and murderous xenomorphs have gotten loose. If you only saw the teasers released by Sega, you could assume that this first-person shooter has some great scares and awesome action. However, neither of these things are true at all. Just check out this side-by-side comparison of how fantastic the early gameplay they showed off was versus the real game. The aliens are broken, the graphics are terrible, and some stuff they displayed in the trailers wasn't in Colonial Marines in any form. We were sold a project that doesn't exist, which led to Sega being sued for false advertisement. Number 1. No Man's Sky. Imagine a universe with billions of worlds to explore, just sitting there waiting to be found by you. Climbing into your shuttle, it's possible at any moment to light speed warp to another solar system and land on any planet or moon. Each one has a different set of plant and creature life, all of which can be photographed for science or killed if you want. There were some who claimed that No Man's Sky is a title that could revolutionize gaming and perhaps be the only thing you ever needed to play for the rest of your days. While No Man's Sky does have some rather neat environments, and personally I think the art is fantastic, the gameplay itself is just plain bad. For example, your ship is constantly hurting for fuel, which means that most of your hours are spent docking at random spots and desperately grabbing any elements you can shove into your gas tank. To make matters worse, your suit also has very limited batteries, so you need energy for that as well. Soaring among the stars turned out to be less fun than just doing the dishes, not to mention the fact that the developers straight up lied about multiplayer. You're totally alone in this stupid basic universe. For its ridiculously empty promises and being a horrible final product, I am awarded this my pick as the most overhyped game ever. Did your favorite catastrophe not make the list? Got an idea for a future top 10? Leave it in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Hey, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Sometimes in between takes, because obviously I have to say this several times over, I'll actually dance in my chair. Because, I don't know, I get really excited when I'm making these, and if there's a bunch of trucks driving past, I'll just be like... Because I have too much fun. Seriously, I can't believe you guys watch. This is too much fun. Thank you, you guys are awesome. Oh, hey, I was just playing a little bit of Grand Theft Auto on my Darth Vader PSP. Are you curious what I'm going to come out with next? Well, if you click this button, you'll be subscribed to be the first to know. Also, if you click over here and here, you can see my latest review and my latest top 10. I promise, it was super good. Or it was really bad and I'm sure you can just make fun of me in the comments. Either way, it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching.